What is up, everyone? Welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I am currently on the test server and we're going to see if the buff on Fjorad is actually good enough. If this champion is actually going to come out of the vault or he's still the worst mythical champion in the entire game. Truth be told, I'm going to say it from the very beginning before I even test the champion. I do not have very high hopes because they haven't really changed that much. They kind of like try to make him the Galen Pack Nemesis, which, let's be honest, is not necessarily the best thing. He's really dependable of other freeze champions in order for his second form to perform well. So if with the first form you're not able to land the freeze, you're kind of like in a pickle, right? So a double hitter has a chance to freeze. Basically, immunity, increased speed, and decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 1 turn. This is honestly not a bad skill, okay? As a support, not a bad skill. The A3 AoE attack that has a chance to freeze, to put a decreased speed, and of course, versus the Galen Pact, you don't need accuracy. Also decreases the turn meter and grants an extra turn. With a passive, whenever the champion or an ally receives a debuff from an enemy, has a chance of placing a freeze debuff on that enemy for 1 turn. And this chance increases to 100%, blah, 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 if they're from the Galen Pact. With the second form, basically they increase the multipliers on this skill, and they increase the multipliers on this skill as well. It does ignore defense. If you hit them and kill them while they're under a freeze, you're going to block revive, which is a nice touch. You can ignore the block damage. There are a few things happening, but it's all conditional to freeze. And if I'm going in PvP, it's going to be very hard for me to build a team around him just to bring in the freeze, right? I could go with Lady Noelle, which will apply the freeze, offer me some support. But honestly, I've never liked champions that are dependable of something, especially when they depend on a different champion to get their job done. Because you could go in, start directly with this, grant the extra turn, and move on to the next skill. But one of the main things that might happen, of course, is the fact that you will probably encounter Stone Skin, high resistance champions that are not from the Galen Pact, and because of it, you're not going to get the job done. You're not going to land that freeze to really enable your second form. But let me just quickly go over his build. I literally gave him the best freaking gear that I have for HP-based nukers. I do want to try him in PvP as well. Now, I do not have a relic. The blessing is not active, so we are not gaining the stats from the blessing just yet, okay? But this is what you can expect in terms of stats. The crit damage will increase once we're going to put on, of course, the blessing as well. There isn't much else that I can do. This is the first form, only 50% crit damage. On the second, he has 63, so the crit damage will be higher. Every single piece has crit damage. I literally glyphed the whole freaking gear with the best possible glyphs. You see crit damage, crit damage, crit damage, crit damage. Everything has crit damage, okay? They might not be perfect substats, but we will have good crit damage on the champion. Masteries, we have the following. Helm Smasher as tier 6. We went with the support, lasting gifts for the first form, and to get that extra accuracy. What I quickly want to try, I'm actually going to show you that he is fully booked on both forms, just so you guys can see that too. We're going to go in a dungeon, and we're going to see what damage he deals. Then we're going to compare him with Magnar, and then we're going to try him in PvP. So Magnar has a 5-star blessing. I will give them the exact same blessing to both of them. We have Lydia right here, so let's bring in the champion. So what you can do with him, use that first form, gain the extra turn, and move on to the second one, right? So we're going to apply the debuffs. This is without a blessing, no relic. So you can start in like this, grant the extra turn. We landed a freeze and decrease speed on everybody. Now we can metamorph, right? And we can go in with the AoE attack. Attacks all enemies and places an extra hit on enemies under freeze, okay? And when they are under freeze, each hit also decreases the target's turn meter if the enemy is under freeze and it cannot be resisted. For whatever reason, I thought that maybe he will ignore some defense or something like that, but it seems like he's not doing it with this skill. So let's see. 100k and 74k. Okay, that's what you're getting from his damage. Is it good? Hell no. And they buffed the multipliers. 50% on Chagur. 40% on Venus. Mythical champion recently buffed. His damage is still really weak sauce, okay? And you can say whatever you want. This is the reality. This is the reality. Once we're going to put a blessing, you're going to see the stats are even crazier. But let's actually quickly try the other skill as well. And then we're going to actually do something else. We have the speed. We're going to metamorph, the freeze, sorry. Metamorph. And now we're going to go with this skill. If they are under a freeze, we're going to ignore more defense. And we block revive as well, okay? Which is actually pretty nasty. We'll ignore 50% of the target's defense. If the target is under a freeze, we'll ignore 100%. We're going to go versus Venus. 220k. Really not too crazy, okay? It's just not feeling like it's too crazy. What I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to activate a blessing on him. No relic. So, because I want to kind of like be in a playing field with Magnar, I gave him a 5-star blessing at the moment. We're going to go with Haven Cast. Crushing Grind is not really going to be very beneficial. We want to basically gain the additional stats. Now, because he's a mythical champion, he's gaining a lot of stats. 126k HP, 318% crit damage. Yes, it would be nice to have more crit damage, but what can I do? I literally gave him crit damage from every freaking piece of gear that I have on. 331 crit damage. So, we're going to see how he performs now. I'm going to quickly find Magnar. So this is my Magnar. I gave him more or less similar accessories as much as I could to kind of like have the same amount of HP. That's why I haven't ascended this one. I have no relic on him, and I'm going to change his blessing from Phantom Touch to Haven Cast as well. Okay, and we're going to keep it on playing field. We have the exact same masteries on Magnar. I don't need a support or defense 3 because it's irrelevant. And then I'm going to move the gear from the mythical to Magnar. And we're going to see what they're doing. Magnar has a double hit right here, as you guys can see. And this is a single target. Now, this skill doesn't hit a hard, but I'm curious to see how this one compares. And to keep it on a playing field, I will even bring in a freeze champion. Even though I shouldn't, okay? Even though I shouldn't, because the whole magic for the mythical champion is freeze, freeze, freeze. But now we have a blessing. We have much better stats. Let's see how that plays out. In fact, I'm not going to bring a freeze champion for Magnar because that will handicap the champion just because this one is handicapped. And this is his skill. He has a bad skill, right? Which doesn't actually benefit his damage right here, except the extra hit. But it doesn't actually deal with that damage reduction, okay? So let's see. 135, 89k. So we are definitely closer to one-shot the enemies now, okay? I think that's pretty good. So let's see. We have 1.2 million damage. Let's go back at it again. 1.2. And let's land the freeze because we need the extra hit. That's his kit. I'm not going to put freeze with Magnar, actually, because that would be a stupid move. And wow. Like, the damage on Venus and Chagur is so weak. What do we have right here? 1.2 and we have 1.179. Magnar, here we go. Magnar, here we go. So I'm actually going to bring the exact same gear on. So we're going to go to global presets and let's move the gear. Magnar has too much crit rate for whatever reason. I'm not even sure exactly why, but that's fine. Seems like I need to quickly sell some gear, actually. So let's go bang, 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 bang. We are on the test server. We do not care about all this crap. And now we can go back to filters, sphearing room, and preset manager, actually, not sphearing room, sorry. And now we can equip the gear. There we go. So these are Magnar's stats. We have around 3k less HP, and we have slightly less crit damage as well. Because Magnar only has 50% crit damage, okay? But same masteries and everything else. If we're going to go back to the dungeon, let's see what Magnar can do instead of him. So Magnar, where are you hiding? This This should tell you everything, okay? This should tell you everything. And I haven't tested this before. I'm just doing it now. Okay, I'm just doing it now. Magnar. Okay. How much damage we have? 976k. So Magnar dealt less damage here. By quite a bit. 100k to 100k. Okay. Magnar again. Let's see, what do we have? We have 1.65. The mythical dealt 100k damage more in one of the runs and around 130k in one of the other runs. But that, of course, can be Helm Smasher proccing, not proccing on some of the champions. I'm not trying to make a proper test where I'm just saying this is better or not. 1.1 million. So either way, the mythical champion does deal a bit more damage than Magnar. Okay, let's just say we're 100k. But we're talking about one epic champion, and we're talking about a mythical champion that just got buffed. Okay, and take it however you guys want. Say that you love him, you don't love him. I really don't care. I'm just showing you what the champion can do. There we go. And now we're back at it. Magnar had more crit rate because he's empowered, right? And even with the empowerment and stats, we still had less stats than Fjorad, actually, which is pretty crazy. So what I'm going to do right now, guys, I'm going to change this blessing because we don't really need it. And we're going to go and do a bit of PvP. I'm actually trying to see what blessing should we get on the champion. Should we get a Ward of the Fallen? Let's just get a Ward of the Fallen. I can give him a 6-star blessing because I have it available. So we're going to change him to 6-star. There we go. This will give us more speed and stuff like that. We've tested his damage to kind of like compare him with a Magnar. And there we go with the stats now. We have almost 300 speed. I can get even more HP from here if I want to. But god damn it, do we really need more HP? Like, I feel like he has so much HP already. This is a bit too fast, to be honest. But do I have some decent-ish boots that can work well? Wow. Hell no, this is definitely not better. We're gonna keep the boots that we have on, and let's actually see if I actually no, that's gonna give me crit rate. I was gonna say maybe I can bring in a Slayer piece, but that's not really gonna be very helpful. Let's see if I can try to give him more accuracy somehow. What banners do I have here? Accuracy, HP. This will give me a bit of accuracy. And I guess I can drop some speed. I can drop some speed to gain more accuracy. I can glyph the HP back. Having so many glyphs on the test server is absolutely amazing. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. And give me one speed. And I'm going to send accuracy. Oh my god. Max, max, max. What is happening? I can't believe it. If this was accuracy first as well, it would have been pretty damn dope. But we are. So we have 260 accuracy, more or less. One of the main things to keep in mind is that he's a mythical. He ignores 20% of their resistance, which is really, really helpful too. I don't think I can glyph any accuracy on any of the pieces because he's literally just more or less perfect for him. So let's head on to PvP. I'm not going to try to bring in a freeze champion for him because I don't think that would be very, very fair. And we can try him versus some of these teams. I'm just quickly going to make sure that my Lazarius has gear, right? Because that will be pretty important. So let's do that. And we can go back to this. I was going to say, who should we remove from here? I guess we'll take Armans out, and I'm gonna bring in I don't need to search. It's easier like this. There we go. Hopefully we're faster. Hopefully we're faster, and we're gonna be able to put in some work. Okay, Crixia, lock them all locked, and now we can do this, right? Freeze. Polymorphed. I should maybe try and give him a wand relic. to kind of like make it a bit fair, right? I think that would be good. Oh, you're missing gear as well. Heck, you actually have the PvE build, so let me just give you that as well quick here. There we go. And I said I'm going to give him a wand, right? With a wand, we're going to be able to have a chance to reflect that back. We're going to gain more HP. I'm not even going to bother with gemstones and anything like that, right? We're going to keep it as it is. We just want to have that chance to reflect back the polymorph in case if we're getting it again. And it will happen probably very, very often. Now we have Gale Impacting here, Warlord. I don't think we have anybody. Actually, we have Marius in there too, right? He's a Gale Impact. So freeze. Marius has the freeze. Warlord died. We can get an extra turn. And only one hit on Sifi because we had no freeze, right? But still, only 46k, man, for one hit. That is really not looking too good. Okay? Really not looking too good. Let's see this team. I really don't think he's going to do much in here. Now, the thing is that we do have quite a few strong force champions. I should try to bring... Sulfurian won't do much in here because of Marichka, actually. Maybe we can remove the stone skin. Okay, perfect. We haven't done it from UDK, but it doesn't matter. We've done it on the other ones, and that's what matters. Okay, Marichka got resisted. We haven't landed a freeze on anyone, actually. So we're going to go in with the AoE attack. Can we kill them? Actually, I went with the third skill. God damn it, Skratch, you noob. You see how much confidence? We're going to go in with the AoE, but we haven't went in with the AoE. If that makes sense. Okay, you do that. Let's get some more turn meter. Let's move in front of the enemy. And now we're going to be able to go with the A2, not A3. So we have a 97 hit there. The other ones are all alive. So his damage sucks, man. Like, you cannot use him in PvP. Regardless if you're putting the freeze, you need to bring in either a champion that will land the freeze, either give him a lot of freaking accuracy, which will reduce his damage, and it doesn't really make that much sense, okay? We have UDK, we're going to hit the stone skin. There isn't much that we can do about that part. So we're going to have to basically wait for the UDK to finally take a turn, because he's extremely, extremely slow. Or maybe, just maybe, we can finally remove the... Okay. Finally. Let's see. 24,000 damage. Yes, he did have the strengthen, no freeze, but 24,000 damage on a mythical champion that has those stats. Are you kidding me? Now we can actually go back in, attempt to land the freeze. We landed a freeze on UDK, which could potentially be good. So let's do that. Okay, let's push the Thermiter to try and go in front of that Marichka before she gets to... Actually, she's not going to cleanse because we just lock her skills. But my god, how long is it going to take us to kill these freaking enemies? Okay, so we got that extra hit. Push the Thermiter a bit more, give him more Thermiter. Lock them again. And now we can finally Metamorph. And we're going to place a double hit on that UDK. 18k, 21k. That must be big. I think that must be big. So we're going to Metamorph quick here. Put the block active skills on them. And let's see. Can we kill them? Can we kill them? I'm actually going to try and reset to see if we can move in front of UDK, but I don't think we will. Or maybe we will, yeah, now that we got the Thermiter. Okay. Just A1. If we're not killing them, I'm going to quit my job. Okay, a weak hit. A weak hit on her, that's fine. I feel like I've been in here for an eternity. 3 minutes. Another weak hit. But we finally got the win in here. 414k. I'm not saying that I've used the best team to deal with that defense, okay? But I'm trying the champion. And that feels pretty underwhelming. Pretty underwhelming, okay? Let's go versus this team. We do have a couple of magic champions in here, which could cause us some issues. Hopefully they won't. We have lots and lots of Stone Skin. And I feel like a Sulfurion would have been a much, much better call instead of Galatir. And that's exactly what we are going to do. I'm seeing that Fabian has, of course, Supersonic, which is fine. Sulfurion, where are you hiding? There we go. Hopefully I have all the gear on Sulfurion. And let's see. Lock. Burn. Freeze. We got one freeze only out of all the other champions. Okay, and we got one of them alive because we weak hit as expected, but we killed the rest. I am not feeling him. I'm not gonna BS you guys. I think he still sucks, and I'm hoping I'll never pull him. Okay, if this is the buff that they gave him, I'm not saying he's not gonna be helpful for Faction Wars hard mode. I'm more than positive that he can be very helpful in there or in the Curse City, but he's really not material for a mythical champion. Really not. Okay, let's see another team where we might not have so many magic champions. They can really cause us a lot of issues. Correct? We can go versus all of the turtles once and get clapped. Okay, because probably that's exactly what's going to happen. Let's see. Boost. Lock. I think that Leo is about to demolish us. Can we freeze them? So freeze. 1, 2. One got the Stone Skin, which is fine. We have 100% chance to freeze, man. Why is the freeze not landing? Kill them. Okay, bang. 2 of them alive. Bringing in the heat. That's fine. And can we beat the turtles? It seems like we can, but mainly because of the other champions that we have in the team too. 314k with a single target. So that can potentially put in a bit of work. That's Fjorad for you guys after the buff, okay? Not good for PvE in terms of bosses, right? The first form, supportive one, good for control and other things like that. Talking about his nemesis, the Galen Pact, while we have a lot of good champions, the meta is more dominant on Telerian and on Nyresen Union at the moment, okay? And his affinity is not that great either. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As usual, much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.